You didn't do the countdown. You should have done the dramatic countdown.
Oh, I don't know how to do that with the sound effects. Hello, everyone.
Are we live now?
We're coming in live from Barcelona, Spain. How's everyone doing?
I was drinking my protein shake. Now everyone's going to know that I go to the gym.
Oh God, that's the only way they would know if they see the protein shake, isn't it? Hey, Hadas. Look at that. We've got 15 people rolling already. 15 homies on a Friday.
Good dedication.
Ready to learn about $1 million brands.
Mate, I had to say that it's a what is it? 26 degrees, blue skies. There's only one place I want to be right now, and that is in front of my laptop, grinding, setting up a big $1 million brand.
There you go. There you go. Where else would you want to be? I'm actually just going to put my air conditioning on because it's fucking hot.
It's very sexy mood lighting you got there, Al, if you can still hear me.
What do you say?
Nice bit of mood lighting. It looks very have you shut all the blinds?
This light setup that I've got at this time of night is delightful. Yeah, it's lovely. 23 people. We're gonna give it probably, I don't know, we'll probably give it like another 5-6 minutes and then I'll kick everything off. Because we got some hot heat. So why don't everyone just throw in some questions, let us know where you're from, where you're tuning in from.
Mate, let's do a live and direct what we've been doing in the last couple of days. We've been getting
we've got a lot of stuff done, haven't we?
Some heat. What me and Alex do with our brand, and you guys will get, if there's something you're setting already, you'll get this. It's great. One of the best reasons to have a business partner. Something happens, you find like an idea, and then you just hit this like stride of momentum and you just get hyped. And every day you get massive progress, and then you just text each other saying, "This stinks of cash. This just stinks of cash."
This absolutely stinks of cash. Hey Ken. How's the weather in London, Ken?
So what we've been doing for a bit of insight. So as some of you guys would already know, we've just got into subscription-based products this last few months, and we've got a few this week. Actually, we've had a bunch of our first subscribe and save customers come through, which was pretty sick to see. So we got excited about that. Pretty much every product we've got lined up is subscription-based at the minute. Yeah. So we're like pivoted. We know that seems super attractive to us. We kind of pivoted the business into it. We also had a really good call with shout out Tom Brown, and you guys on Twitter, Tom Brown, D2C guy. We had a great call with him yesterday about our ideas for our next couple of products. So we're excited about that as well. But this stuff, this is fun, right? This has become our full-time job, but like building brands is sick. If you're into this kind of thing, it all becomes one big game pretty much.
Yeah, it's funny because Davey from Honest FBA, he's just moved over to Barcelona, and we were chatting last night, and he was like, I just love the game in his Geordie accent. He just loves the game and making cash. He might actually be watching. I don't know.
Super fan, mate. He moved to Barcelona because we live here, right? So I hope he's watching. He's the biggest super fan we got.
He might actually be out on a Friday afternoon doing something though, not streaming on YouTube.
Yeah.
Hey, The Level, how you doing? Calgary, Canada.
Canada, nice. How many have we got live now?
We've got 38 people. I'll give it a few more minutes and then we will kick it off.
What are we live on? Twitter.
Twitter. Hey, Michael.
Twitter,
IG. Are live on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. I think that's it.
The big three.
Yeah.
Are we going to become Twitch streamers at any point, do you reckon?
God, I don't know.
Would people in the comment, would you like to watch us for like an 8-hour day, just our regular day?
Just sat there.
Working.
Hey, Lungello.
Probably about 3 subscribers.
You guys want an example product to look at? Just launched on Amazon.com, and for sure. Why not? Send it over. Maybe I can have a quick look at that now before we.
Dave Smith said, would it be available to watch? Yeah, mate. We'll upload this to YouTube.
Yeah, it will be ready. Can't post comments to some destinations. Don't know what that means. It's Sonar today, isn't it? Mert from the group is going to Sonar tonight. Big festival in Barcelona. Starts at 9 p.m. and finishes at 7 a.m.
Do you remember when we went in, like when I first got to know you? We went to Barcelona by night. That was heavy.
That was
Heavy
when,
stuff.
like, I think we got lost from Dave, didn't we? And I just remember turning a corner and he was there, and he was like, "Oh," like 6 o'clock in the morning. I think Sonar by Night is a bit too heavy. I think it gets a bit depressing.
Going home when the sun's up is it's pretty hardcore, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good memories though.
Right, I'm going to dive in a couple of minutes. I don't want to keep you guys waiting. You made it to Miami. Wait, the Silent Yachts guy. That's a cool name. What are Silent Yachts? Jadas. Yeah, Barcelona is an incredible city. Really cool city, especially this time of year. It's awesome.
We are thinking of doing a bit of an event in Barcelona. Some of you guys that are watching, we would have seen we did a big event in London. We just put out a highlight video 2 days ago. You can get a bit of an inside look if you weren't there, or if you were there, you can see if you can spot yourself. But we've had a few requests to do a European leg, so that may happen. And we thought maybe for people that live in Europe, actually, it seems like people just want an excuse to come to Barcelona. So
Barcelona.
Well, if we gun to our head, we might have to do it. We'll see. We'll keep you guys informed.
That'd be fun, I think. Okay, right. I am gonna kick it off with the short presentation. So the theme of today is building $1 million brands in 2024. Now, the reason that I'm talking about this stuff and I'm going to be doing this presentation is because of what Tom briefly mentioned before. So we've come pretty far with our brand now. We're doing 7 figures a year. And about 6 months ago, we decided that we would kind of take it in a different direction. And that's kind of what I'm going to be speaking about today. So all of this is kind of based on our experience and where we're actually going with our brand. Now, I think we're quite unique in the space because there's not really many gurus sort of doing this stuff and talking about this stuff. So without further ado, let's do it. It's only a short presentation and then I'm going to dive in and show you some stuff, right? So the old way of doing Amazon FBA and building brands, because people talk about building brands and they talk about branding and all that sort of stuff. And most of the time, then they're not really talking sense. So the old way, right, is you launch East. That should obviously say easy. You launch easy to copy products on Amazon, right? You spend a ton of dollars, a ton of cash on PPC. You're fighting for the top organic spots. Your customer comes, they buy the product once. You've got no branded search, which means nobody is searching for your brand. If you sell phone cases like this one here that broke recently, people just search phone case. They click on your product, they buy it, but I have no idea what this product's called, right? Now, if you're watching this and you're brand new to Amazon FBA, you can still do this and you can still make money. And I would recommend that if you're new to Amazon FBA, you see this sort of old method as a great way to get into the business model and to get into doing e-commerce, right? Because the first couple of years of you doing e-commerce, if you're starting from zero and you've got no experience, really what you're doing is learning how to do e-commerce. And this is launching a product on Amazon is one of the best ways to do that, right? So everything that I'm going to be talking about today, it doesn't need to be done from day one as a beginner. You can try and do that if you want. It's a little bit more difficult. The old way is still great. We've still launched products recently using this old kind of way, but if you really want to have longevity, if you want to build big brands, if you want to make a lot of money, then you need to pay attention to what we're talking about today. So the new way, in my opinion, of building big $1 million brands is you launch on Amazon and on other platforms. So we're talking Shopify, we're talking TikTok Shop, we're talking Meta, Instagram, all of these other platforms. You're not just launching and advertising through Amazon. You rank organically because, of course, we want to rank for keywords. If we're launching a phone case, right, we want to rank for phone case. But we know it's competitive. PPC prices are going up. So the key is that you rank organically and you also grow branded search. So if these are called Tom and Alex's phone cases, we want people searching Tom and Alex's phone cases. The next point is that you want customers to subscribe and buy your products multiple times. Now, Tom mentioned this just before, that this is what we're doing now with our brand. We've pivoted away from products that people just buy once. Phone cases, maybe you buy a phone case every 12 months, but I've never, ever looked at the brand that I buy when I buy a phone case, and I've probably bought 20 in my life. So you want to move into products that people subscribe in, or into spaces where there is an opportunity to launch subscription-based products, because that's what we've done. Not all of our products are subscription-based, but the range of products that we've started to launch recently are subscription-based. And the great thing is you can launch products that are non-subscription. You get those customers, and then if they understand who you are and if they know your brand, then they might then go on and buy the subscription products, and you can have both. You can sell single-use products, and then you can have subscription products. Customers then start to see you as a brand rather than just a random set of products on Amazon, and you can even start building communities. So one of our favorite brands in the supplement space is a brand called Obvi. Apparently now they've got over 90,000 people. That's 90,000 customers in a Facebook group. So what they do is they ask them questions. When they do product releases, they release them first into the group. Big brands nowadays are building community. They're not just building products, they're building communities that people want to be part of, and they want to, join and whatever. So let's see some second examples. Right, so the first example that I want to show you guys of a big brand that I think now is doing over $100 million a year. And they are sort of taking all of these concepts and putting them into practice really well, right? So first of all, you can see the brand name on this. This is the brand that I came across a couple of days ago. Who gives a crap? It's a bit crazy. It's viral worthy. It's the sort of thing that just like really stands out, right? The next thing is they are hammering the subscription angle. Now, basically what this is like organic toilet roll, right? So the big brands, what they're doing these days is they are finding these trends, these macro trends, such as organic, sustainability, and they're building products and brands around that, because this sort of thing is not going away, right? This is a trend that's going to be continuing into the future as people care more and more about the planet and all that type of stuff. So basically, this is an organic bamboo-based toilet paper that you buy on subscription. So if you come to amazon.co.uk and you've got helium-10, what you'll see is that even on the UK market, which is a pretty small market, there's already nearly 5,000 people, just over 4,000 people searching for this, right? Searching for who gives a crap toilet paper. And you can see over the past few years, it's not just exploded out of nowhere. It's not like just got one huge peak like this, right? Where maybe they went viral at one point with like a TikTok or something like that. It's got this steady growth over time, which is super healthy. It's not just a flash in the pan. That means that over the time, there's more awareness being built in the UK and around the globe, because this is a big brand in Australia. I don't think they've got a huge presence in the American market, but what they do really well is the visual branding. They understand that people care about the environment. They've got the organic angle, and then they've got this subscription angle. So they really push people to subscribe. And this is where the game of e-commerce just completely changes. Because if I'm just buying one phone case, as a seller, I've got to pay for somebody to buy this phone case and then they disappear. But if I can pay advertising to get somebody to my website or to my Amazon listing, and I've got a product like this that people subscribe to, then I might sign up to this and buy this toilet paper for the next 2 years. So I might spend $30, $40 a month, whatever it is, for the next couple of years. Now, this is what these big brands are doing. They're pushing people towards subscription stuff. And the way that they're doing that is through Meta ads, TikTok ads, essentially not just launching products on Amazon, which is historically what we've done. They're doing this holistic sort of marketing strategy, and they're absolutely killing it. So you can see this is a great tool that I spend a lot of time on now. So if you type this in, this is basically the Facebook ad library. And all you got to do is type in Facebook ad library, type in the brand, and what it'll do is it'll pop this up as well. So I don't know what this is actually. I'll have a look at that in a sec. But basically, you can click on this. It'll show you the page. But then what you can actually see is all of the ad creatives that this brand are running with ads. And you can actually see which ones are active. So you can see this is an active ad that started running on the 14th of June. And you can actually watch all the videos. Some like really creative ads that just educate, you know, people on what it is and all this sort of stuff. So you can do this for any brand that's running Facebook ads. You can come in and you can actually see this stuff. TikTok also have an advertising library. So TikTok, just search TikTok ad library, and you can go on there and you can see who's advertising with TikTok. So they're not only doing Meta ads, they're also doing TikTok. They're sponsoring influencers, like you can see here, right? This has got 2 million views. So all of these brands are doing the same thing. They're not just launching products on Amazon. They're using Amazon as a sales channel, but they're building awareness for their products holistically by using influencers, Meta ads, all this sort of stuff, right? And if you think about the types of products that work really well for this, it's stuff like this, because it's got a weird name. It's a weird product. I had no idea you could buy products that are wrapped in what looks like weird Christmas present paper. I just didn't know that was a thing. And since that, I've seen like 4 or 5 brands that do this. Like if you go on Amazon.com, you'll see this one, for example. And this one was interesting to me because it's exactly the same product. It's exactly the same market. The branding is a bit less sort of sexy. It's a little bit boring. And the interesting thing about these guys is they don't actually have any branded search. So if you look at their keywords, so if you use Helium-10 and use the Cerebro tool, which if you want to get a discount on Helium-10, you can probably see that banner flashing at the bottom of the screen. You can get 20% off of our code. You can see that these guys,
great promotion that was slick. Well done.
These guys don't have any branded search. So these guys are actually ranking organically for this, which is bamboo toilet paper. And what you probably should see, I actually didn't check this out, but you should probably see, actually, that's interesting. I thought that was going to be trending upwards. So this is actually pretty flat, which is surprising. I actually thought it would be trending upwards.
Zoom into the last year.
Let's do, last year. Okay, it's a slight upward trend, but not as much as I thought. I thought that would be really taken off over the past sort of 5 years. But this is what was interesting to me when I saw this brand, because this brand here are doing nearly $400,000 a month, right? And I assumed that they were going to have a ton of branded search, but they don't. They don't have any branded search. So I assume these guys are not really running Facebook ads. They're not really doing TikTok influencer. They're just an Amazon brand. So in my opinion, they're actually missing out. They could be getting this plus a ton of branded search if they did a more holistic approach. Now, the next brand that I want to talk about is something that Tom's seen me go on about for the past couple of weeks, is this brand Create, right? So if you've watched some of my other videos, you've seen me talk about these Beast Bites, right? These creatine sort of Beast Bites. And the creatine gummy niche is something that's like absolutely taken off. It's gone crazy. So if you go to Amazon and you type in creatine gummies, you'll see that in the supplement space, there's a huge sort of trend towards turning supplements into gummies, right? So if you come down here and you click on this, you'll see that there's a massive trend. Like, this is wild. This is what I was expecting with that bamboo toilet paper, to be honest. So you can see that a few years ago, right? Like, nobody was searching for this. Like, not even really 2 years ago. Like, there was a couple of years ago, there was essentially nobody searching for creatine gummies. At this point, there might not have even been many brands doing it, maybe one or two brands, and it just wasn't popular. But this is what happens in the world, right? There's just macro trends where people see something, they talk about it, it goes viral, other people start talking about it. And because of the power of short form content, especially TikTok and stuff like that, you get these trends that just absolutely boom. Like, if this was 20 years ago, something like this would have taken way longer to become popular, because everything back then relied on word of mouth, right? But now you've got short form content, you've got TikTok, you've got YouTube, where people are just seeing these things. And within a week, if you've got something different, it can get hundreds of millions of views. So what happens is with brands like this, right? You've got at the minute 80,000 people searching for creatine gummies. But if you want to launch one of these and you want to launch creatine gummies, to be at the top here with this advertising, you're going to pay probably $8 or $9 for one click. So these guys here, I don't know how they're making money. Or these guys are actually ranked organically, but these guys at the top, like this one, they are going to be spending so much money to be at the top here. So you can see that they're at the top here and they're ranking here. But what they will be doing right now is burning a lot of money to get to the top. So what these brands are trying to do, they're spending tons of money on advertising on Amazon to get to the top of the organic ranks and to sit in these top 5 spots. And then they can make money when people buy the product and they subscribe to it. But that's the old way of doing Amazon. That's kind of the old school way that I talked about before. What the new school, what the new kids on the block are doing is brands like this, like these Create. So what Create do is they take a more holistic approach to this. So they've got Facebook ads running. If you come to the Facebook ad library, you can see all of the creatives that they're using. Stuff like this, UGC videos, they're getting, you know, these women to make videos and talk about facts about creatine, promoting, you know, the more sort of like pink feminine styles and stuff like that. But what that means is that people see this brand all over Facebook, all over Instagram. They see it on TikTok. So like videos like this, 1.7 million views. Basically what this brand will have done is they will have reached out to this woman. They will have said, here's some free stuff. How much do you charge? And they will have paid her to promote this product. And what all of this does, when you do meta ads, when you do TikTok ads, when you do TikTok influencers, when you're advertising on all of these other platforms, what ends up happening is that all of this spills over onto Amazon. So where is it? Create creatine gummies. So if you remember, there was 80,000 people searching for creatine gummies. But this brand has got nearly 16,000 people specifically searching for their product. So you can see back here, this, I don't think the brand even existed at the beginning of 2023. So less than 18 months ago, this brand didn't exist. I think they launched around here. And what they've done over time is they've slowly increased the ad spend on Meta. They've started to do TikTok shop. They've done influencer seeding, all of that type of stuff. And over time, more and more people are searching for this brand. And where this gets interesting is these types of brands can afford to spend a lot of money on advertising. So these types of brands might be able to spend, for example, $100 to actually get a customer, because the difference is between this and a phone case is that a phone case you just buy once, and this, if you like it, you might buy this for the next 12 months. If you're going to the gym and you want to get in shape for someone like Tom, you might be like, right, I'm committing to these creatine gummies for 6 months. And you might spend $50, $60, $70 a month on creatine gummies for the next 6 months. So over that time, if you spend $400 on this product, if this company has spent $100 to get you to buy that first one, then every order after that, they're just making money. And this is why if you come to these websites, what you'll see is they really push you to subscribe. 1 month count, 1 month to 90 count, a 2 month 180. They're really, really pushing you to subscribe. They're offering you, you know, free deals, little, you know, surprise sort of gifts, all that type of stuff. And what's interesting with Create in particular is they've got this buy with Prime. Now, I haven't actually used this. I don't know if it takes you through to Amazon or not. Yeah, it does. I didn't know that, did you, Tom? I thought it was just like still the checkout there.
No.
But I think this is why they're getting quite a lot of branded search. I think because people see this, they click the button and maybe they're not logged in or whatever, and then they end up just going to Amazon and clicking on it and buying it anyway. But you can see here, right, that these guys are giving away a free pack of gummies, because the goal with subscription products isn't to get people in and buy the product once. It's, you know, you want somebody to subscribe for months and months and months. So what I'm doing a lot of at the minute is I'm looking at brands like this, and I'm looking at what are they doing holistically, right? What are they doing on Facebook? What are they doing on TikTok? What are they doing on Meta? All of these different channels. Because this is what's making these brands stand out. There's another one, I think it was Beast Bites, that I did on the video, on the YouTube video recently. These guys are massive on TikTok. So you can see Beast Bites, right? 9,000. I mean, look at this. This is wild. So this is literally just this year they started this brand. And this brand is so much more expensive than all of the other brands. So that their creatine gummies are $40. And I think they're doing $250,000 a month. Can I see it here? Maybe I need to log in. So these guys are doing probably like $250,000 every single month, and they're way more expensive than everybody else. But the way that they can get away with being more expensive is because they've already got people searching for their product. And the way that they've got people searching for their product is, there you go, 210 almost $1,000 a month. And what have they got? They've got 100 and something reviews. So this is a new product, a new brand. But the way that they've done it is, if you search in here, Beast Bites, you'll see videos with 5 million views, 80,000 views, 1.7 million views, 600,000 views. So they're not just launching the product on Amazon using Amazon PPC. They are still doing that. But what they're doing is they're building brand awareness. They're building awareness at the top of the funnel so that people go to Amazon and start searching for these products. Now, the last example that I want to show you, and then I'm going to answer some of these questions that have been coming in. You might have seen me a couple of weeks. When was it? No, a couple of months ago, I did a video about a guy called Robert Oliver. Now, Robert Oliver, yeah, he looks like that dude from V for Vendetta. Looks like a bit of a weirdo, but he's a super smart guy. Now, this is a brand called Top Shelf, right? So they do a bunch of different stuff. They do this supplement called Kingmaker, which is $130, which is absolutely wild. Like, I don't know what the margins are on this, but it's insane. They recently launched this one, which is this dip stuff, which has become super, super, super popular. But again, if you've got Helium-10, right, and you search, put in Top Shelf, what you will see is that there are tons and tons of people already searching for all of these products. They're not launching these products on Amazon and then hoping that they rank at the top with PPC and competing against the Chinese sellers. That's not what they're doing. They are building awareness off of Amazon, and I'm going to show you in a minute how they're doing it, because they're doing it in quite a unique way, which is pretty ridiculous. So you can see this is one of their main products, right? Kingmaker. That's 20,000 people every single month. Look, didn't exist until about a year ago, less than a year. Didn't exist, and now they've got regularly 20,000 people every single month. So when you've already got people searching for your products, you don't have to spend as much on PPC. You can have a higher price, because one of the toughest things with Amazon these days is trying to compete on price, because the Chinese sellers have rock bottom prices and it's very, very difficult to compete with their price. But if people are already searching for your brand, they don't give a shit if you're $5 more than the Chinese or $10 more, because they are looking for your brand because they trust you. Now, this is where you start making a lot of money, but this is also where you actually start to build a brand. And if you want to sell your business in the future, if you can say to a buyer, I've already got 100,000 people searching for my products every single month, that gives them a sense of security that your products are not at the mercy of Amazon and Chinese sellers and all of that. You've got a moat around your brand because you've actually got a real brand at this point. Well, this is pretty crazy. All these top shelf products, I don't know what they're doing in total. I think they're doing over $1 million a month. And I think this brand is less than 12 months old. So if you look at all these products, they've just recently released this one, right? Which I think looks like absolute hot garbage. Now, maybe I'm not the demographic for this, but it looks cheap and nasty to me. And it's doing $100,000 a month. But it's not doing $100,000 a month because it just outsells all the other Chinese sellers. It's because people are looking for it already. And the reason that they're looking for it is because of this. So what these guys are doing is so incredibly smart, is they are hiring short form content creators, and those content creators are building TikTok accounts, and they are making videos and getting a commission for all of the sales. So if you go on TikTok and you search Top Shelf Grind, you'll see all of these accounts. Look how many there is. There's tons. So basically, all of these people are affiliates. So this one might be the official one. That's got 50,000 followers. Oh, I don't even think it is. I don't think it is the official one, because this dude, I don't think that's not Robert Oliver. But what they're doing is they're basically paying all of these influencers a really good commission on that first sale, So all of these people are making all of these viral videos and they're making an absolute fortune. Some of these influencers are making tens of thousands of dollars every single month promoting other people's products. So if you think about this, when you're doing your product research, again, if you're an absolute beginner, I don't want this to kind of scare you, right? Because you don't need to do this from the beginning. You need to learn the basics of e-commerce. And this is a little bit more advanced, but again, it's not rocket science. And if you're interested, obviously, in being part of a team and a community where this sort of stuff is getting taught, then Honest FBA might be for you. But this is the sort of stuff that these big brands are doing. And I think it's super interesting. And this is what we're starting to do now with our brand. So we've got a bunch more subscription-based products that are coming out. It's quite niche what we do. And we're going to be signing influencers to create content for us. We're going to be doing meta ads, Google search ads, all of that type of stuff, so that we don't have to compete on the traditional stuff, which is just Amazon PPC, which is expensive. We're going to be competing on brand. I might answer some questions. Who is Mr. Beast?
Can't believe you said that. Mate, so Mr. Beast is the most famous YouTuber in the world.
That's interesting. Beast Bites have been third-party tested and they do not have anywhere near the said amount of creatines in their gummy. That is super interesting. I think that's going to hit a lot of brands in the next probably 6 months, because I think Amazon is starting to crack down on it. But if you think about it, right, that's actually an opportunity, because if that's the case, then you might be able to do it properly. A website that some of you might have seen, a website that you might have seen me talk about in the past is this Exploding Topic. So this is basically a way to aggregate tons and tons of search data across different platforms, so you can kind of see what's trending, right? Now, you don't have to use this, and I actually do think there are some downsides to using this. So one of the downsides that you should be aware of is if you look at stuff like mushroom gummies, right? You would have to be a bit of an idiot probably to launch some mushroom gummies, unless you're doing it in somewhere like Germany, where you're doing it in German. If you're looking to do this in the UK market or in the US market, this is a market that's already booming. Unless you've got a ton of cash and you're really, really trying to build a brand and a community and all of that stuff, then this is going to be quite difficult. But what you can do with a tool like Exploding Topics is you can find stuff where it's maybe not necessarily booming in this way, but you can try and find stuff that's starting to maybe boom. And what you can start to see is trends overall. So all of these products, for example, these are all kind of energy nootropic type products, right? So what that tells you is that people are looking for alternatives to traditional supplements and traditional stimulants like coffee. They're looking for these products that are maybe less harsh. They don't give you a crash. And that tells you what people are interested in. They're interested in their health. And that tells you that health and wellness is something that is going to continue to grow. That space is going to continue to grow. So you can, if you're conscious of those sort of macro trends when you're doing your research, you might be able to understand and see certain data points that can lead you to finding stuff that's perhaps going to trend in the future, and you can kind of get there before everybody else. Like, this is a huge one, right? There's a big brand called Brez. They've been absolutely killing it. I think they're doing like 15-20 million a year now. They basically sell what's it, a THC drink. It's like an alcohol alternative. So if you think about it, right, amongst your friends, you've probably got people that have started to give up drinking, or they don't drink as much. I do think that I've not seen any data on it, like on the search data, but a lot of people are looking for alternatives to alcohol. I'm a bit hungover today because I had too many beers last night and I don't feel great about it. And stuff like that is where these brands come from. They're born out of recognizing trends that people are looking to move away from drinking alcohol into stuff that's more alternative. Because if you'd have launched this 20 years ago or 10 years ago, it would have been just seen as absolutely crazy. Can you imagine seeing a website for microdosing cannabis and mushrooms 10 years ago? It would blow people's minds. But now the world is changing. macro trends happen, and this is a good example of it. So this is, I don't think these guys are actually on Amazon yet, because I don't think you can sell THC products just yet on Amazon. But this is made in the USA. It's an alternative to alcohol and all that type of stuff. But you can see this is on Exploding Topics, and this is where you can start to see these trends kind of happen. And actually, I think this hasn't even started to bang yet, because it's very inconsistent. This is probably going to take off even more over time. Stuff like this, beef liver powder, we all know, probably the what's it called, Liver King. There's so many products in the health and wellness space.
So the big con man himself.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he?
Never touched a steroid in his life.
He looks horrible now. But then you got stuff like this, like beetroot supplement. So this is the sort of thing that maybe if you'd spotted this back there, right? Remember when we looked at the organic toilet paper? That didn't have this huge bump up, but it was steadily increasing. And then most likely what's happened here, right, is this has steadily increased, and then this has just gone nuts on social media at this point, right? So this is a great tool. If you go to our YouTube channel, we've got there's a code where you can sign up to this for $1. I think we get 20 cents of that dollar. So if enough of you sign up, me and Tom are getting a couple of beers each. But yeah, this is a great site. So what you can do is you can go on trends database, and you can filter it by, basically anything, food and beverage. So you can look at, I don't know, let's have a look at food.
Someone said, can you, when you've done this, can you show the Lions main stat again? Apparently it was crazy.
Yeah. Let me just look. Where was it? It was this here. All right. Yeah, look at that. 9,200% growth. Like, again, just wasn't that popular. Now it's just going absolutely nuts. The thing with stuff that's this big is you're going to be competing against absolutely huge brands. So, for example, there's a brand called Rise Coffee. Now, this was something absolutely beer gummies. That'd be amazing, wouldn't it? This is something that blew my mind when I saw it. Right. So, Rise Mushroom Coffee has got 600,000 people searching for it every single month. Look at this. Nothing. 600,000 people in a single month. But then the most crazy thing is that they've got more people searching for their brand than just regular mushroom coffee. So twice as many people search for that brand name than they do this, right? So like, if you came to me and you were like, look, I'm gonna launch a mushroom coffee brand, I'd probably tell you you're absolutely nuts, because you'd be trying to launch it right at the top. My door's gone. I was going to go and get it. Stick around for me.
I'll take over. One thing I would say with all of this, I think when people see this, they get super excited and they want to launch mushroom coffee, for example, right? It's super appealing. As Alex mentioned earlier, these kind of markets, they're hyper competitive, right? So if you have a bunch of cash, and some of you watching, I suspect some of you do have a bunch of cash, you can enter these niches, but just be aware of some of these big ones that are growing on Exploding Topics, for example, that are getting huge. They are going to attract a lot of eyeballs. So make sure you have the budget in mind. Obviously, we do a lot of work on that in Honest FBA, making sure you can afford the markets that you're going into. It's a super important point, but just bear that in mind. But this kind of angle and what Alex has been talking about today is exactly what you want to be thinking about. I think I saw a few questions coming in saying, should you start with this? And as Alex touched on, this is, I say it's not like the basic level of e-commerce and Amazon. You just want to get your foot in the door first, but this is something that you want to be thinking about. And spaces that you go into, you haven't just got to go into supplements and replenishables from a brand perspective, right? We have products that we still sell and we still source them from, say, China. Some of them people only buy once, maybe twice. We're having this as well as replenishable products, and having that mix of products is awesome because they can use perhaps the first product with the replenishable products, and that's kind of how you got this cohesive overall brand. So just bear that in mind as well, and you can start with something simple, and then if you're going into a particular space, there are some subscription-based products you can move into after the first couple.
Yeah. I saw Anthony was saying, quick one, who gives a crap? They've been in, yeah, I think they've been around for about 10 years. Yeah. Having that massive of foot in the door such a long time, it allows them to diversify into other platforms easy. Yeah, it definitely does. It definitely does. But let me show you an example of a brand that you might have seen me talk about. So this is a brand called Space Goods, right? Space Goods is a brand, I think they only sell in the UK. They sell mushroom coffee. This was basically just almost copied from an existing brand in the US, right? And I'm not saying that in a negative way, because the branding wasn't copied, the name, the design, everything else. But basically, this is the same product. It's mushroom coffee with just a different visual branding around it. And that's what people are doing. That's what smart people are doing, right? They're seeing existing stuff that happen that's working in another niche, and then they're just doing it themselves, perhaps in the UK market or the US market or whatever. So yeah, who gives a crap? Like, they've been around for like 10 years, but there are new brands that are popping up that are basically copying what they did, but doing it in a slightly different way that are doing really well. I can't remember what was that brand called that Tom showed us. Tom, it was like begin with B. Was it Breeze or something? Bazoo. That was it. Yeah. So this is one called Bazoo. I think these guys are doing over $300,000 a month. They might have been around for a while, but I'm pretty damn sure that they just copied Who Gives a Crap. I could be wrong, but I'm sure they haven't been around as long as those guys. So my point here is that you can see what these other brands are doing, and you can basically just do the same thing, but with your own twist. Because there's so many people that buy toilet paper, there's enough room for more than one brand, right? So yeah, it does allow them to diversify into other platforms. But the way that I would kind of see it, right, is like you should really be leveraging most of these platforms in order to drive awareness for your brand. And where it gets interesting, like I said before, and what Tom was just saying, is like when it's subscription products. Because if you try and do this for products that people only buy once, that's when it gets quite difficult. I don't know if you've ever seen a brand called Ridge. So Ridge Wallet, the guy that is the CEO of this is called Sean. What's his surname, Tom? Sean Frank. If you follow him on Twitter, super funny guy, super interesting guy. And he talks about this a lot, right? Because he says wallets are one of the hardest things to sell. And the reason one of the hardest things to sell is because, like, you buy a wallet once, especially a wallet like this, and then you don't really buy it again, right? So he's basically paying to get a customer, and that customer is not that likely to buy anything else. Like, they've launched other things, but he says the biggest challenge for a brand like him, even though they're doing $200 million a year, is getting people to buy more than once. I think he has talked about on the podcast how he would love to launch a subscription-based product. I don't really know what it would be within this space. I mean, the design of these is super, super cool, but I think these are like over $100, or like they're about €100 each. 160. I mean, that's for this double kit, right? But I think just the individual wallets are about €100. Now, I think they make a gross margin on these of like what, 90% or something, Tom?
Yeah, 85, 90%. It's like the highest industry is seen.
Yeah. So like they must be, I don't know, they must be making these for like a few euros, and then they're selling them for like €100. And you can imagine how cheap these are to ship. You can get hundreds of these in a box. Me and Tom used to sell wallets. It was the first product that we launched in the UK market years ago. So the economics on these are amazing, and that's why they can make money with just that one single purchase. And then, maybe a percentage of their customers also buy some of this other stuff. But the biggest challenge for a brand like this is getting people to return. And that's the beauty of brands like this, where if you get into the brand, you buy it more than once. Another good example is like dog food. There's so many. Purdy and Fig is one that we've been looking at a lot lately. So this is a brand that does £50 million every single year on not on Amazon, just holistically. So if you go to Amazon, I don't know how much they're doing, but these guys run so many ad creatives. So this is basically it's like a non-toxic cleaning
product, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So basically what you get when you sign up to Purdy and Fig is you sign up, you get this reusable bottle and you get these reusable sort of oils that you mix. I think you literally mix it with water and then you put it in that bottle and then you clean whatever, your bathroom, your kitchen, all that sort of stuff, right? It's such an unbelievably simple product. And I think you can, this was actually £15 when I looked at it. They might have changed the price. But basically you sign up and you get this starter kit, right? So these guys are not actually making any money. They're losing money on that first sale, but they get people into the brand and people to subscribe. So if you look on the Facebook ad library, you'll see Purdy and Fig. They run so many Facebook ads, like 1,200 results. Most brands, if you search them on here, you'll see maybe 30 or 40 results. These guys are testing so many creatives, and this is just in the UK, and they're doing $50 million a year. This is like, I don't know, if they sell this brand then in the next few years, they're going to make a ton of cash. And I think they're profitable. They're doing really, really well. What got me down that rabbit hole then? I can't remember. Lost my train of thought.
It's a subscription stuff in general.
Yeah.
You're answering the question about, I mean, should we dive into some of these questions? There's some good comments here with a couple of talking points. There's Dave Smith. We'll work through a few of these. Dave Smith, yeah, we have heard of Mark Law. Can you highlight that, Al?
Bit random.
You guys. Yeah, Mark Law. Is it Laurie or Law? He was yeah, I do know how it is because he was on the My First Million podcast probably 2 or 3 years ago now. And I would, if you could just find out about him, I would go back and listen to that episode. It was amazing. I remember actually he was trying to solve the issue of clothing and like clothing returns, basically, where we're going way off topic. But what he was trying to do was, do you remember there's technology whereby like if a company, if you can take a photo of yourself and you can actually get your dimensions uploaded to a website, you'll stop clothing returns, which are insanely high percentage wise, aren't they? And then most clothes that go back and get returned, they just get binned. So it's like a multi-billion-dollar problem that he was trying to fix, I believe. Anyway, we're way off topic there, Dave. I don't know why you brought that up for, but yeah, interesting bloke.
Do you guys do cosmetics, pimple patches, and things like that?
Mighty patch, aren't they?
Sorry?
So we don't do that, but huge, one of the biggest Amazon success stories ever is a brand called Mighty Patch.
Oh, yeah.
They got acquired for, I'm going to say
300 million?
400 or 500 million. Like huge. I've seen these actually in the UK in stores. Yeah, is it like Hero Cosmetics? I think the brand's called.
Yeah.
So these guys, they super nice branding. Like really, these guys as listings, by the way, if you fly through some of these, like this is a really good example of look how simple these listings are. Like I show these people all the time. This is like a hyper successful multi-$100 million brand. And look how clear they are. They're not making it confusing at all. You know exactly what the product does. You know exactly what the benefits are. These are a great brand to look at.
Yeah, they've got really great, like, this is really cool, isn't it? Just like works in 6 hours, traps gunks, no picking. That's cool.
I reckon their cogs are probably about 50 cents a unit as well.
Yeah, it must be ridiculous. Yeah. The level said, is this the same as Google Trends? It takes some Google Trend data, but I think it takes data from a few different sources. So it's not just Google Trends. It aggregates data from a few different sources. I'm just seeing Ken. So Ken said, if you were to launch a new brand, would you start with Shopify and then expand to Amazon or TikTok Shop? It's a good question. So I would always want to be launching on Amazon. But what you can do is what we've been talking about, right? Is you can start to build out awareness for your products on Facebook through Facebook ads. You can send them to influencers, and that's going to help you build up that branded search. Now, you don't have to do that from day one for sure. For me, Amazon is still the absolute best sales channel, right? It's the best way to sell your products because customers just trust it so much. Like everybody shops on Amazon. And this is why if you look at a brand like Top Shelf Grind, Robert Oliver, if you listen to him on podcasts or whatever, you'll see him talk about this type of stuff. And like, if you actually go to their website, I don't really think they sell much through their actual website. Their website, in his own words, kind of sucks. Like, they've not invested that much money, right? Because I think it actually links through to Amazon itself. But they've not really invested that much money in the actual D2C side because they're just happy for people to go to Amazon and buy it. Amazon fulfill it all. It's super simple. It's super easy. And then they also get sales from people that are just searching for like non-branded keywords as well. So I would always be looking to primarily launch on Amazon, but supplementing it with these other channels, you know, with the meta ads, with Shopify, with TikTok, all that type of stuff. You don't have to do all of it at once. If you're a super beginner and you've never done any of this stuff, I would recommend launching a simple product on Amazon, just going through that process and starting to learn about e-commerce, starting to learn about building listings, about branding, about brand names. There was an interview that I saw the other day. What was it? It was on Liquid Death. Most people have probably heard about this, but this is a great sort of exercise in branding. You know, where they've made, you know, this is another example of a brand name that just really stands out. You know, like this, what was it called? The one with the toilet paper. Who gives a crap? These brand names just really stand out. So if you're a beginner, I would recommend just launching a product, getting something live, going through the process, but taking all of this stuff in, absorbing it all, like understanding about branding, understanding about, you know, brand names, about meta ads, about TikTok, just learning it all as you go. You don't have to do it all from day one. And I wouldn't even recommend that. But there are brands that are just doing all of this stuff, but their primary channel is still Amazon. I don't know whether you buy it here. Yeah, but you can see, again, this is all subscription based. So Robert Oliver understands that I think he wants to build this to like $100 million brand, and it's all subscription based. So you can see that already they're trying to get you to buy a 3-pack, a 2-pack, whatever, with all of these discounts. So yeah, you do actually just buy it straight through here. This is just Shopify. This is not anything crazy. This is just a simple Shopify site where you buy it here. But they also get tons of search on Amazon itself.
Did you see the Deepika Kathrani's question at 6:09? Not even a question, it's a statement, but it's probably the best statement I've seen today, I'd say.
Oh bloody hell, best it! Oh, welcome, Dee. That's made the live stream. That has. It's good to have you here. Good to have you in the community. What's your guys' opinions on consumables for repeat orders before you go for a subscription model? I'm not sure what you mean there, Dave, because isn't consumables on repeat orders, isn't that a subscription model?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's right. Also with subscribe and save, so this Amazon will automatically enroll you into that if you qualify, and you can get in. Yeah. I think our latest product that's gone into it, it took 10 days maybe, and we got put into it with 2 products, which was awesome. We thought it would take a bit longer than that, but
yeah, we thought it took a couple of months, didn't we? But yeah, it doesn't. Dave's also asked a good. So just checking I got this correct. You would still recommend starting old school until you build a brand with a bit of history and recognition before moving over to subscription model. So old school and subscription model, like when I talk about this old school thing, it's more, you know, like only doing Amazon. If you're a beginner and you've never sold a single product online, I would recommend, doing the old school model, right? Because if you try and do everything from day one, you're going to get overwhelmed. It's going to be probably quite difficult, but also maybe not. Like, you know what I mean? Who am I to say that? Like, if you're a smart person and you're willing to learn, there's no reason why you can't do it from day one. And if you learn from the right people, hint, hint, honest FBA, then you know you're going to have a much higher chance of making it work. But if you're a brand new beginner, one of the things that people do, in my opinion, that's kind of like wrong, is they think that first product has got to be like the product that like makes them all the money, right? So you've really just got to learn the ropes in the beginning. You know, the first 6 months, the first 12 months, just launch a couple of products, you know, small products, small niches, just learn how to do that. And like I said, just learn all this other stuff as you go. But I do think it's valuable to be thinking about this from day one as well, right? Because, you know, what you'll often see is like people will launch stuff like, what was that one? What was it called? Like a draw organizer, right? People will just launch stuff like this, and it's like they'll pick a, you know, a generic brand name. It'll be, you know, bamboo, whatever, right? And like, okay, yeah, you can definitely still make money doing that, and you can definitely learn how to get into e-commerce doing that. But as you progress and you learn a little bit more, you start to look at what we've been looking at today, right? Which is proper branding, and proper marketing, and that's really how you're going to absolutely crush it long term. But what I'm talking about here today, right, is like this is a $50 million brand, £50 million brand. So this isn't, you know, the guys that have ran this, they've probably been in e-commerce for 10 years, right? So if you're starting from day one, don't think, oh shit, I've got to go and do this from day one. Getting a product on Amazon, like we've got a guy in Honest FBA. He sells one product, a super simple product in the UK. He's doing £100,000 a month. Some months he's making £25,000 profit, and he sells one product, super simple. He's done a great listing. So you can still do the old school way of doing it, right? You can definitely still do that. But like us, you know, we want to do a bit more than that now. So we want to become one of these brands where, you know, we're doing big numbers. We've got subscription revenue. And yeah, I didn't look at the search on Amazon. What is it? So you'll probably see Purdy and Fig. Yeah, I mean, look, there you go. 7,000 people already searching for it on Amazon. You can see back here, nobody searched for it because it wasn't really a thing. And then over time, they've done more and more marketing.
So probably for me, shout out that guy, by the way. He's on. I can see a bunch of people are watching on Twitter. Jack Rubin is his. Yeah, Jack Rubin one is his handles. It says brackets the soap guy. They are. Yeah. He's crazy transparent about everything. Like some of the podcasts he's been on. He's on one with a guy called Andrew Farris, who's another really good follow. And
he's been on that twice.
He explains everything, man. Like he explains all their numbers, and their margins are just outrageous. So yeah, they're definitely worth a follow if you want to learn a bit more.
Super smart guy, man. Like it's really interesting listening to him. Like one of the things that he says was a massive key to success. And he said all this publicly. Like it's not like it's like private information. It's like they test so many ad creatives. So that's why I was saying here, right? 1,200 results is wild. So they've got, I think, 3 or 4 full-time designers that just make up these static type ads. They're testing all of this different stuff. They've got teams of influencers making all this sort of stuff. And again, that, you know, that seems a little bit like, holy shit, like that's a million miles away if you're just a beginner. You don't have to do that. You know what I mean? You can start very, very simple and just work your way up. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's like when you do anything, when you start a sport, right? You don't jump in and go and, you know, try and compete with black belts. You start with the basics, don't you? And you work your way up. And over time, you take bigger and bigger swings, and then you compete with people that are better and all that type of stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, like, I don't know how much they're doing on Amazon, but 7,000 people already searching for your brand. You're no longer competing with the Chinese anymore. You're no longer competing on price. You're kind of in a league of your own, you know, like, oh, they've only got these 2. So they've got this starter pack here, and then they've got these refills. So this is where it's so smart, because you buy this starter pack, you get into the brand, you really enjoy it, and then you just buy these every month, all of these refills. Which is super smart. All right, we got any other questions before we wrap it up?
Jara said, could you write the name of Jack Rubin? I can spell it out very slowly if you want.
Jack Rubin.
His handle is Jack Rubin, which is RUBIN 1. That's his handle on Twitter.
Anthony's asking about UFC.
Quick thoughts on UFC 303 falling apart. It was coming, wasn't it? Do you know what I just regurgitate from a podcast I listened to called Fight Disciples that I love. They heard it was coming. The new card is pretty good, to be fair. The main event, by the way, Al, you haven't seen this. The main event is what we watched in New York. It's a repeat of the main event. It's Alex Pereira's fighting Yuri again. They're running it, running it back. But on 2 weeks' notice, and Alex has got 2 broken toes, and he's in Australia on a press tour. So he's coming in like a gangster. But I'll be watching it. I think that'll be a good card. There's rumors of happening again this year. The New York annual trip.
Oh, that'd be good, wouldn't it? That'd be bloody great.
It would.
Silent, is there a significant branding strategy difference when developing a subscription model versus one-time products, such as plugging the subscription benefits within the branding, or would Amazon have issues with that? I'm not sure if you can have in your listing like subscribe. I'm not sure if you can do that. It might be against terms and conditions to push that, but I'm not 100% sure. This was something that I was speaking to with with Will, our brand manager, a couple of days ago. The branding is you really want people to understand that you're a subscription-based product. But Amazon do a pretty good job of that, to be honest. Like Amazon push people towards subscription. Like this week we've started getting our first subscriptions, which is awesome. Every time I see a sale and it says subscribe and save, it's like when we first started selling again. It's so exciting to think that those people have subscribed to our brand and they're going to buy the products on a monthly level.
What was mad about that? One point I'd say, what was insane with we thought that would happen. We had 0 reviews, and this is a brand new product. But this is the power of having a really good listing, and like make the best listing in your niche, and you'll sell. Number one, you sell a bunch of products, but number two, like you're getting subscription out the gate. These people have never ever tried the product, and they're subscribing, that just shows the power, right? If you do things properly and feel a need in the market, people can jump on and get they're saving, what do they save? 10%, I think, on the subscription. They're committing for, hopefully they're committing for a long time. But we know that actually one thing that I'd say recommend everyone watching, that really one of the reasons we got into this as well, Joe, one of our members in Honest FBA, we interviewed him on the channel a few months ago, and he sold like 2 of his brands now. I think he's working on another one now. And Joe had a subscription-based business, and I think by the time he was selling it, over 50 or 60% of his revenue was subscribe and save customers. Yeah, and he built that up over a couple of years, and his margins were ridiculous, and it made his business way more valuable. So definitely, go back and watch that interview with him. It's really interesting.
Yeah, there it is. God, we're a bunch of handsome chaps, aren't we? There was one other question. Do you know if I can get supplement packaging made in China, or is that bad in a way? No, for sure you can. Yeah, packaging is super cheap in China. So yeah, that's definitely.
And you can also get supplements made there as well, right? You haven't. Yeah. Like China, India is really popular for supplements now as well. Obviously, the US, Europe, you can make them anywhere. It's one of the best things about them. But for sure, like some of these lend themselves. I think this is probably made in India.
Yeah, I think this is probably made in China. If you come down, I don't understand. Sometimes it says down here like where it's from, and then other times it doesn't. I don't know whether it depends on the category. But yeah, it's just crazy. Look, they only just launched. Look, they only just launched, and they're doing over 5,000 units a month. But they must be spending so much money. There's no way they're going to be able to keep that going unless they've got branded search. There's just absolutely no way they'll be able to do it. No worries, yacht guy.
The silent yacht guy.
Great. You could always invite us to one of your yachts to hang out if you wanted to. If you really wanted to repay the favor.
Right, because I haven't spoken to you. Are you watching the game tonight? Are we meeting to watch? You're going to watch
Scotland.
The game with Scotland, Germany. Space Cowboy?
Probably not.
Oh, mate, a rejection to meet up on a live stream on 3 platforms. I'll never recover.
But aren't we going to that birthday party tomorrow?
Yeah, mate. You can do more than one thing in a weekend. It's fine.
Oh,
it's not dealing with everyone. It's not dealing with one. You see him once a week, and then Crew's like, "Look at his cave. Look at my room. How bright it is, and look how he lives."
Wow. Right, everyone. Right. It was wonderful. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. Give us a shout. Let us know if you want anything else for the next one in particular. Hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, DM us. We're on all the platforms.
Oh, and we'll see Silent Yacht Guy. We'll see you in Cannes in France to go on the yacht in September. We got the invite out. Mate, the offer that will come. So Don't throw it out there as a little
And we'll
try
make
and
a
be funny.
YouTube video about it.
Yeah.
See you later, everyone. Have a good
Nice
weekend.
one. See ya.
Bye.